Now let us discuss a few devices. First we will discuss about the oscillator. Oscillator or LC oscillator is a device which usually help us in converting direct current into alternating current. So let's say we have a device in which we have inductor and a capacitor and an inductor. Okay, this is the capacitor, this is the inductor. So let's say initially the capacitor is charged initially, and in the initial situation switch is open, so nothing is happening. Now at time t equal to 0, current is 0 and the complete energy is in capacitor. Okay, q square by 2c, and the energy in inductor is 0. Now as soon as we close the circuit, what will happen? Current will start to flow. Okay, current will start to flow like this. Once the current will start to flow, so what will happen? Capacitor will get discharged and inductor will not allow the current to achieve its maximum value initially. It will take some time for the current to achieve its maximum value because inductor oppose the change in current. So gradually the current will increase. As current increase, the charge in the capacitor will keep on decreasing. So in this second situation, some energy is in capacitor and some energy is in the inductor, Li square by 2. This is discharging process. Now in the third situation, it is a situation when the complete capacitor has discharged now, so energy in the capacitor is 0 and the current is has achieved its maximum value. So inductor has the complete energy now, Li square by 2. But what will happen? Once the current is flowing this direction, then the capacitor will get charged. So gradually the energy will be transferred from inductor to capacitor, and ultimately after a certain time interval, current will reduce to 0 and capacitor will achieve its maximum charge, and the energy will be in the capacitor only and inductor will have 0 energy, and so on. So if you see here, what is happening is that energy is first in capacitor, then energy is transmitted to inductor, so the energy is in both inductor and capacitor. Then energy is completely transferred to the inductor, then gradually inductor transmits the energy to capacitor, and the capacitor achieves its maximum value. Then capacitor gives the energy to inductor, and after a certain time inductor achieves its maximum value of energy. So this is oscillation. What is oscillating? The electric energy is oscillating between capacitor and inductor. So the formula is this: q over c minus L di by dt equal to 0. This is V due to the capacitor minus V due to the inductor equal to 0. So q over c minus L di by dt equal to 0, divide by L. So you will obtain this equation. So this equation is similar to the equation in SHM. Okay, so this is the equation of SHM, simple harmonic motion. So there are some analogy. So in normal SHM, mass m is there, and here at the place of mass we have inductance L, and their spring constant was there. So here reciprocal of capacitance was there. There we discussed about the change in the position, that is displacement x. So here charge is moving from one place to another. Then voltage, the velocity is analogous to current, and this equation, potential energy and kinetic energy. So potential energy and kinetic energy equivalence. So this oscillation, LC oscillation, is like SHM, simple harmonic oscillation, and these are some analogies between normal parameter and the electric parameters. Now let's start with the next device, which is the transformer. So oscillator was our first device. After oscillator we will start with transformer. So transformer is a device which can increase or decrease the current. If voltage is decreased, we say step down transformer. If voltage is increased, we call it step up transformer. So transformer is very simple. It works on the principle of mutual inductance. So let's say we have two coils, one is this coil and another is this coil. So in the primary coil we will supply the current, and in the secondary coil we will obtain the induced EMF or induced current. So if the number of turns is more in the primary coil and number of turns is less in the secondary coil, so the voltage will reduce, and if the number of turns is less in the primary coil and more in the secondary coil, then the voltage will increase. So this is called the step up transformer. This is step up transformer. and this is step down transformer. So this is quite simple, working is quite simple. More the coil having more turns will have more voltage, so voltage is proportional to the number of turns. So V1 over primary coil over voltage in primary coil is proportional to number of turns in primary coil. Voltage in secondary coil is proportional to number of turns in secondary coil. So this is the ratio. Now if voltage increase, then power remains same all the time, so current must decrease. So therefore voltage and current are inverse. Okay, if voltage increase, current decrease. Okay, so this is why these three relations: secondary, primary, remember this. So transformer is a device which converts the voltage, value of the voltage. Now there are quite a few losses in the transformer, like flux leakage, resistance of the windings, eddy current, hysteresis loss. So when the transformer is there, so there is a flux linkage between them. Flux change from because of the change in the current in primary coil, flux change, and that flux change is linked to secondary coil. So that change is not some 100% linked to the secondary coil, so there is some flux leakage. Then there is resistance of the windings. The windings have, every wire has some resistance. So to reduce flux leakage, we can put the transformers very close together. To reduce the resistance of the windings, we can make the windings very thick. Now there is eddy current. Eddy current opposes the change in the current, it opposes the induced EMF. So to reduce eddy currents, we can use laminated core. And hysteresis loss is there. So what is hysteresis loss? So once the these coils are there, so because of the presence of the current, this coil become magnetic. Okay, so when the current is there, the coils become magnetic. When the current reduce, the magnetism becomes less. So when the current increase, magnetism increase. When current decrease, magnetism decrease. But it is not the case that when the current becomes zero, all the magnetism will be lost. So let's say we start from here. Let's say the current is increased, or external magnetic field is increased. So because of that, the magnetic field of the wire will increase. Let's say it goes here. But again, when you decrease the external field or external current, then the internal magnetic field of wire will not reach zero. There will be still some kind magnetism in the wire. So in order to achieve zero value of the magnetic field, you can apply the current in the opposite direction or magnetic field in the opposite direction. So after a while, the magnetism in the material will become zero. But let's say if you apply further the magnetism or current in opposite direction even further, so you will achieve a value here. So again, if you go back to the zero current or zero external field, so you will not go back to the zero magnetism in the internal object or the object. There will be some magnetism left. So in order to achieve zero magnetism in the wire, we have to apply the current in the opposite direction. So this is the hysteresis loss. That is, whenever the current is reduced to zero, the magnetism of the material does not become zero instantaneously. So this hysteresis loss is also there. Now let's discuss about AC generator. So the generator is a device which converts the mechanical energy into electrical energy. So how does the generator work? So whenever there is a change in the magnetic flux, current is obtained. So let's say we have a coil here. So this ABCD is a coil. Then this north and south poles, these are the magnets. This is one single magnet. Okay. Now this is the internal coil and this is the external circuit. So this is galvanometer or any bulb which will help us in determining whether we have obtained the current or not. Now this internal coil is connected with the external circuit using carbon brushes and slip rings. Okay, carbon brushes and slip rings. So what is happening is that when the turbine rotates the coil, this turbine is rotating the coil, so this coil will rotate and this slip rings will rotate on the brushes. So this part is rotating on its own, and this part will remain as it is here. Okay, so initially AB will be in contact with S1 and S1 will be in contact with B1, and CD will be in contact with S2 and S2 will be in contact with B2. And remember, this will always be the case. The coil will rotate and this coil will turn like this, and S1 will always remain in contact with B1 and S2 will always remain in contact with B2. So now what will happen is that when we will apply some when the torque is there and the coil rotates, so the flux will change because of the turning effect. So magnetic field is changing, and because of that flux will change. So because of that an induced EMF will be generated as discussed earlier. So that induced EMF will produce a current. So what will happen is that initially by using the left hand rule you can find that the direction of current will be like this. Once the coil rotates, then again the direction of the current in the coil, it will remain same. But if you notice closely, the sides have reversed. AB is this side and here AB is this side. So what is happening is that the current's direction in the external circuit, focus on the external circuit. So here the current is anti-clockwise, but here the current becomes clockwise. Look closely, like this, like this. So here it is clockwise and here it is anti-clockwise. Look closely, like this. So this is why it is called alternating generator, AC generator, because alternating current or the current is changing its direction, it is produced. If you want to have DC generator, then do one thing. Instead of using slip rings, use the split rings. It is quite simple. In split rings, what do we have? So let's say this is a magnet, north pole, and this is south pole, and this will be our coil. Now this coil has to be attached with split rings, okay, with split rings. And let's say galvanometer is there. So once you do this, B1, S1, S2, B2, AB, CD. So once you do this, you will see that in one cycle AB will be in contact with S1. This will always be in contact, and initially it will be in contact with B1. CD will be in contact with S2 always, and initially S2 will be in contact with B2. But after a cycle, let's draw the second part of this. So after rotating, what will happen is that CD will be here and AB will come here. So S2 will be in contact with B1 and S1 will be in contact with B2. So here AB will always be in contact with S1, but S1 is now in contact with B2, and CD is in contact with S2, which is in contact with B1. So in this case you will notice that the current will remain same, okay, in the coil like this. So current will remain same in the coil like this. So externally also the current will remain like this. If you notice closely, current will remain like this in the external circuit. So it is clockwise in both the cases, or it can be anti-clockwise in both the cases. So this is the working of the DC generator. Now motor is a device which converts electrical energy into mechanical energy. It works on the principle of electromagnetism, okay, just the opposite of the generator.